Hi guys and welcome to another episode of Dial It Up. And tonight we are going to be talking about one of the more complicated, not the most, but one of the more complicated standard powers, and that is telekinesis. Okay, we're going to start off just with reading the first part of the actual power. Give this character a power action and designate another target character or object, A, and destination square, B. This character A and B must all be within 8 squares in line of fire of each other. Place A in B. Alright, so we've got Cosmic Boy. He does the TKing. He wants to TK Banshee. So we've designated Banshee. This is our A. We want him to TK to here. Can you see this? We want him to TK him to here. This is our B. So we have to make sure that A, B, and Cosmic Boy are all within 8 squares of each other. Now, this is a small map, so yes, they are all within 8 squares of each other. And we also need to make sure that they can see each other, that they're going to draw lines of fire. So when you're actually doing TK, you're going to be drawing technically 6 lines of fire. Cosmic Boy to the square, Cosmic Boy to Banshee, Banshee to Cosmic Boy, Banshee to the square, and the last and most irritating one is the square to Cosmic Boy and the square to Banshee. As of right now in the game, unless something has completely gone over my head, TK is the only power that requires an actual square of the map to draw a line of fire. We'll get more into that a little bit later. So now that we've figured out our lines are triangle. This is how I've always described it to everybody, the triangle of TK. We can give the action and move Banshee to the square. So the next part of TK is if the A is an object. So basically we're doing the same thing. Cosmic Boy to the object to the square. Square, that. Object to Cosmic Boy, object to the square. Square to Cosmic Boy, square to the object. Everything's clear, everything's in the triangle within 8 squares of each other. I can move that object there. Now, the fun part about moving an object is that you can actually make an attack with an object on a character. So we're going to put Wolverine and X-23 in there because they have stealth. This is important because, as I stressed earlier, is that we're drawing lines of fire to the square, not to the character, which means that if I'm going to try and throw this badger at Wolverine and X-23, all I need to do is see the square underneath them, not them. So if I was
an inevitable betrayal.
So normally if I was trying to shoot them, I would get stopped by the stealth because my line of fire would cross this hindering terrain, which would activate their stealth. But I'm not targeting them, I'm targeting the square underneath them. So I need to make an attack, roll my 2d6s as long as I match their defense or higher, badger in the face. So the next part, and if you do that with an object, you just deal the object damage. Now, object damage can be found in the rulebook, but for a light object, it's just 1 damage. Or is it 2 damage?
Light objects 2, ultra light.
Sorry. Light object is 2 damage when you're dealing it in a TK attack, or when you're throwing it. Now, the final thing with TK is that you can actually target a opposing character. We're not going to use that because
that's not legal.
That's not legal. I can't see them. So we're going to throw Ariel instead. So now that we've established that we can draw our lines, so Cosmic Boy wants to bring Ariel to Banshee. Alright, so we start off with an attack. And as long as we hit, then instead of dealing damage like we would with any other attack, we get to actually move the character anywhere within that square. So we would have already designated which square we're going to move to before we make the attack, and then pick up the character. We've hit enough to hit her, now we can move her in. Now Banshee can make his close combat attack, which is funny because it's Banshee. I'm so off the rails in this episode. It's awesome. So the final thing on TK, and what I was stressing earlier about the square needing to draw a line of fire, is something that came up during Nationals or Prep last year, because Jason was using both Rocket and Banshee, and he had this really awesome team. And we found out that how we came about finding out that the square really stressfully needs to see line of fire. Now, on this is Rocket and this Banshee. They both ignore elevated for line of fire. So if I was to designate this square here, I want to go here. Now, Rocket can see that. Banshee can see that. With a electro beam? Vortex beam, Rocket can get TK, or a catapult from the power battery, however way. In this scenario, it was a vortex beam. Now, Rocket can see the square, and Banshee can see the square, because they both ignore elevated. But the square doesn't ignore anything for line of fire, it just draws line of fire. But that square can't see back to Banshee or Rocket, so you can't actually complete the triangle of lines of fire that you need, and you can't make your TK up to the top of a building, even though they can see to the top of the building. The building can't see them back. So that was TK. It actually wasn't as hard as I thought explaining it, but once you can actually get it on the board and I can show you the triangle that you need to make the TK triangle, it becomes a lot easier to explain. Any comments, questions, concerns, though, anything you think I left out, down below, and we'll see you next time for another episode of Dial It Up.
Married with Clix is brought to you by Majestic's Heroclix sales down in Costa Mesa, California. Right now, they're in the middle of storefront change. In the meantime, don't forget to check out their eBay store. If you check the link down below, they always have great Heroclix stuff at fantastic prices, and they'll ship just about anywhere.